Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet a national expert in business funding. He'll talk about what he's seeing on the front line. Next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, how many small business owners can relate to this problem? You're cruising along and then a couple of clients don't pay you on time and suddenly you have a cash crunch and you go to your bank and you want an extension on your line of credit or a small business loan and you get told no. Well, what does that person do? They turn to my next guest, Greg Roberts. He's with the Roberts Consulting Agency. Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Glad to be here, Jeff.
Very cool. And I got to tell you, the last few years in the banking industry kind of got weird, didn't it? I think it started with that Silicon Bank disaster and made banks nervous.
It got absolutely weird, and not only that, the process of auditing the banks nationwide got really strict, and so they choked them down quite a bit on the capital that was available to business owners and people in general, and so it made it real tough to get a loan for a business.
Absolutely. I want to hear more about your background. So how did you get into this?
Well, I worked with a company that did agency building for CPA firms for about 16 years, and in the process of working with the agencies, we did a lot of business with small businesses, and I would ask them in the process of, talking about our services, I would say, well, what do you need besides us? And they would say, money. We need money, and we can't get it because they were a new business. New startups have a real hard time getting access to funding, and because they don't have a track record, the banks are scared of them because it's almost total risk. They're starting from ground up. So they didn't have a source, and I would ask some of the CPAs themselves, the owners, where can we get funding for these businesses? And that's why, just have them talk to their banks or credit unions, or that's all we know to do. So I did some research and came up with some really great sources and vetted them all out. And so now I got that started and it's working very well.
Outstanding. Well, your timing could not be better. We're going to pull up his website. And as we scroll on the website, I want you to talk about the kinds of clients that you like to work with.
Well, it's pretty much across the board, Jeff. There's not an industry that's left out, so to speak. But we do construction companies, all the trades. We do real estate, commercial real estate loans. We do construction loans. It's you pick an industry and
Sure.
we can get some funding.
Tell me one of your favorite success stories since you've been doing this.
Well, I've had, in fact, this has happened several times, but the first time it happened, it was really great because I had a business owner call me up and tell me, look, I was referred to you by a friend. My business is, I've run out of money, and I went to the banks, all of the banks. They've turned me down, and if we don't get some cash in here to take care of inventory, we're going to have to close the doors. So I said, well, I think I can help you out. And so we got them a loan and got them more than they were really intending to get. And so they were very, very happy.
Sure. And I understand that sometimes there's just a little cash crunch where they've got the the order, but they just haven't gotten paid.
Right.
And so you're able to work with a company like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, they if they've got accounts receivable, well, we can actually loan against accounts receivable, and so that's there's a lot of those type of loans out there that we can take care of, and so there's a lot of the beauty of being independent is there is a lot of different ways you can arrange a loan. You know, it's not just cut and dried this term, this rate. So you have a lot of flexibility.
And you also do business expense reduction. Talk about that side of the company.
We certainly do. Yeah, they're on the business expense reduction side. The big three that we handle, of course we handle several, but the commercial real estate cost segregation, if you own commercial real estate, office buildings and that type of setup, the property taxes, generally speaking, about 95% of the people are overpaying for those. And when you use CPA firms, the cost segregation program takes usually 3 months to 6 months sometimes, and CPAs really don't like to do them, and because it takes staff and time and all that. But the company we use has been in business for 26 years, and it's a matter of 2 weeks. And so, they have an AI program that goes in and not only investigates to the rate that you're supposed to be paying, but it also does research and finds what you're available to get. And so the minimum average case on that is about $184,000 recovery. Same goes for credit card processing. Credit card processing, any business owner will tell you that is really a pain. And they get these statements with all these codes on them. They don't know what they mean, but they have to pay it, to keep it going. So the program goes in there and does the same thing for them. It audits that, finds the overcharges, and then brings that. You don't change companies, but it just reduces the rate you pay.
Absolutely. Well, we've got some video from our library of the banking industry in general, and let's talk about why the banking industry operates the way it does, because it seems like they all kind of move in a pack, and when one stops lending, they all kind of shut down.
They do. Well, the news gets out on Wall Street if a large bank starts cutting back or is having some type of audit. The news gets on the street pretty quick, and so they all start choking down. And of course, the people that are caught in that process is business owners. What our system, we still use bank financing, but it's instead of walking into a major bank, I don't guess I need to name one, but
sure.
If you went into Bank of America and just asked for a loan for $100,000, you were a new business, they'd say no. But with our system, we actually get the $100,000 and break it down into between several banks. One bank might be on the hook for 10, one bank might take 20,
Right.
another 30. You get the whole 100,000, you just don't get it from one bank.
Sure, and there's an interesting thing going on because of interest rates. So talk about how many small business owners kind of got trapped because maybe they borrowed at this rate, but the next thing you know, the rate is completely different.
Yes. You can get trapped in a long-term loan if the rate's too high and your business revenue dips. You're paying the same rate. So you need flexibility where you can rearrange that and
Sure.
work it a different way.
And I know commercial office right now is kind of in trouble because a lot of people were, signing leases for 10,000 square feet, and then they say, well, everybody's working from home, so we don't really need 10,000. We'll just take 2,000.
Right.
And that's happening across the entire United States, isn't it?
It absolutely is. There's and we get a lot of calls. Part of the cost segregation program is linked to that because they're still paying the same property taxes.
Sure.
So when the occupancy dips and the revenue goes down, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so they either fix it or have to take the other alternative.
Well, Greg, I can see why you're so successful. Okay, if somebody's watching this and they say to themselves, I think I need to get a hold of Greg and see if he's an option for me, what does the onboarding process look like? Do you have a Zoom chat, or how do you begin an engagement?
Yes, that's flexible too, because business owners are busy people, so you've got the option. You can actually go to the website. We have a 3-step process that you can take on that. We've got a phone number. We do Zoom calls. We're open to what the customer needs.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for the service that you provide, a lifeline for many small business owners. We're going to end with his website, which is fundingyourway.biz. The great Greg Roberts. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.